Haaland isn't a Pep player. Jack Grealish isn't a Pep player, but they're having to make the best of a bad situation. And now we're just seeing everything implode because Pep seems like he's losing his marbles. Man City are in the mud, and all roads lead down to the fact that Pep's protege, Arteta, has won the league for Arsenal. It's as simple as that. Liverpool are getting exactly what they deserve in terms of their board and their fans, because I told you not to disrespect Mane, not to celebrate the pyramid pennant like that. And now look what's happened. Now look at what's happened. And don't forget the pyramid pennant, you know. Don't forget. This guy was supposed to be carrying Liverpool on his back. He's out here missing everything. He's out here missing everything. Him and he's caught what the Uruguayan Ande has. He's caught that.
I'm not having no Salah. I'm not having no Salah slander. This guy's
Spartans! What is your profession?
Yes, people, another edition of Knightz of the Roundtable Discussions where we discuss all sports all the time. Got my guy, The Truth, in the building. How are you doing, sir?
all good, man. All good enough. I'm just tired trying to make sure people don't bust case. You know, I've been able to, you know, get a few of the man them off, but this one, you know, I've turned to judge, jury, and executioner now. So they're trying to get it over the line. Those that know that what I'm talking about. We're trying to get it over the line. We'll get there.
People, I say nothing because I'm not getting incriminated for anything. Yeah, just people remember when I said The Truth was cancelled. Yeah, there's reasons for that. Reasons that I'm not going into. But just know that he's on our side unless you're a certain team. He's on our side. Yeah, I mean, and that's all I'll say about that.
But I'm compromised because I've got, what do you call it? I've got obviously it's a gender based, you know. I think I'm looking out for numero uno. You know, I'm just looking out for my team. So I've got no other people. There's no titles to be rewarded back anyway. There's none of that. It's all about this season. You know, I'm trying to make it happen.
It doesn't need to happen this season because this season's already done. This season's already done, bro. It's next season and beyond. It's next season and beyond. But people, yes, listen, you're getting a double dose of Footie Chat. I was on yesterday with ST and now I'm on with The Truth. So we're going to be running through a couple of things. There's one particular subject we can't get into, but there's so much more going on in football right now that The Truth and I are going to chop it up. But as usual, before we start, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Get the likes up, get the subscriptions up. As I say all the time, share. We are here. And don't forget to join our social media pages as well. Links are in the description. Truth, before we get into the Prem, the Super League has can we go there? Can we not go there? Yeah, we can go. We can go there. Yeah, the Super League has reared its ugly head again. I can't even remember. No, I think the last time we spoke about, I think you were for it. Were you for it?
Yeah, I was always for it.
You were for it, but obviously they've come back and they've restructured it, basically saying that it's so confusing, but it basically saying it's going to be an 80-team Super League with a minimum of 14 games, and teams can still play in their domestic leagues. And I was reading it, and it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me. Can you make sense of it? Can you tell the people basically what it means? Because to me, right now, it means it's more confusing and more stupid than it was the first time.
Okay, it's important to understand one thing, and that is there is a large disparity now in the money in the game. As you see, the majority of the money is centered around English football, primarily the Premier League. When you look at the amount of money that the Premier League teams are spending, opposed to in entire other leagues, there's a large disparity. I'm talking ridiculous disparity. And the reason is football was in a bubble. It was always in a bubble. They were spending ridiculous amounts of money, really unsustainable when you actually think of it from a business point of view. COVID popped the bubble for a lot of clubs outside of the Premier League, where businesses were like, "Oh, you know what? If something like COVID happens again, we need to get our money. We can't be having clubs have just debts and debts and debts, and and then if something happens, that money's going off. But we're not talking about low amounts of money. We're talking about millions here. Some, like Barcelona are in the billions.
Oh my days.
So, so it popped a lot of bubbles for a lot of these football clubs. But the bubble didn't pop for the Premier League. Like the money's still coming in because guess what? It's the most watched league in the world. And it's the most watched league. And the problem is when you put it into context, that young kids aren't really watching football no more. Like for us, bam, watching Go Lazio.
Yeah. Back in the day, bro.
4.
Channel 4.
Football Italia, we used to watch anything that we could catch on Channel 5. Watching other teams play was amazing for us. It's something that we want to do. These kids don't care about La Liga no more. Nah. They don't care about Bundesliga. They don't care about Serie A. They don't care about all those other leagues. It's part of the Premier League. So in terms of money, in terms of views, they're not getting, their money's being cut. But the money's still pouring into Premier League because that's where it's at. And the Super League now, they know this.
Yeah,
they know this. And they don't want that monopoly. They don't want the Premier League to have the monopoly on money. Because at the end of the day, look, we're going after Enzo Fernandez. 100 million? Okay, we get him. Going after Anthony. What? 80 million? We'll get him. Modric. What? He's 21 year. We could charge 80 year. We go get him. It's unheard of right now what's going on. It's unheard of. And the Premier League is at the forefront of that. And it's something that we need to think about. Hold on a sec. Yeah, something that the European clubs have thought about, and they're like, look, something has to change because we're talking about powerhouses like Real Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus. Juventus trouble. They can't afford it. They can't afford to even sign these players no more. Like they're in real trouble of falling behind, and they don't want to win. And when you think these guys are footballing royalty,
yeah,
like AC Milan, these guys are footballing royalty, and then when they're seeing the likes of Man City, the likes of Chelsea, spending whatever they want, doing whatever they want, the likes of PSG, doing whatever they want to do, they're like, nah, we're the footballing royalty. Like this is our thing. So yeah, they're trying to change it up. It's come back in a new format. Look, I don't hate the idea. I think there's a conversation that needs to be had about the restructuring of football. A conversation needs to be had. I'm not saying things need to change, but I'm saying a conversation needs to be had about, first of all, the money in the game. There has to be some structure to it now because me personally, I don't like the fact that there's some teams that are allowed to do what they want in the transfer market. Because then there's no point, as a football coach, I'm thinking, oh wow, there's no point of academies then. If some team could just go out and do whatever the hell they want when they have their own academy there where they should be finding answers from. That's one thing that for me that needs to change. There needs to be a lot more eyes on football. We're talking about a global sport that people that want to watch it can't. Like people in other countries, maybe poor countries, younger kids in poor countries, they can't watch what they want to watch because they don't have access to it.
Yeah.
And there's people that do have access to it that don't watch it.
It's true. The contrast.
Yeah, it's mad. Like, trust me, especially in England, like, the young kids. I think Florentino Perez said this. He said from 16 to 25 or something, like kids aren't watching football. Sorry, from 11 to 25, kids aren't watching football no more. Like, there's a huge thing going on. So I think there's a conversation that could be had in terms of restructuring football. If it's with a Super League, so be it. But a conversation needs to be had. I don't think we could carry on going at the pace that we're going at, I think that football's in a good place.
You make some valid points there, and I can't argue with a lot of the stuff you said, especially with the restructuring of football, because I think if we go back to, well, where can we go all the way back to? I mean, Cristiano Ronaldo, 80 million to Real Madrid. If we go as far back as that, and it was astronomical money, but that was money well spent because Cristiano at that point was one of the top 5 players in the world. Now we got players like Enzo Fernandez going for 100 mil. So the contrast and the disparity between the two doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
What I say, and I understand it, and that it needs to be controlled and contained, or else it's just going to spiral. It's going to get out of control. Who I don't feel sorry for is the other clubs in Europe. I don't feel sorry for them, and the reason for that is, I was like, how is it that the Premier League has managed to survive COVID, but the rest haven't? And first things first, the model that the Premier League has put together makes it so it got around the whole COVID thing. Yes, everyone lost money, but it didn't affect the Premier League that much. I think La Liga, Serie A, Bundesliga, I think the one thing that we said about all of them, you probably got 1, 2, maybe 3 teams max competing in them leagues. You got Real Madrid versus Rayo Vallecano, you know who's going to win that. You've got Juventus versus Torino, you know who's going to win that. You got Bayern Munich versus everybody else apart from Borussia Dortmund, you know who's going to win that. Whereas when you got the Premier League, you got Man City, you got Man City versus Brentford. You think you know what's going to happen, but you don't know. So it's the competitive edge in the Premier League that's made it make the money, along to coincide with smart business decisions that the Premier League has made as well. So as much as the disparity is massive, and I 100% agree that the especially the football and royalty, because you don't want to see them go under, even though Barcelona do deserve it. But at the same time, it's like La Liga, Serie A, Bundesliga have to look at the Premier League model and think to themselves, well, where did we go wrong here? Yeah. Why? The Premier League has ascended. Remember, in the 90s, it was always about Serie A. That's what it was about, right? In the 2000s, the Premier League, but in the 10s, bro, Barcelona, Champions League winners, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Real Madrid, Real Madrid, Real Madrid. And yet still the disparity is massive. Like, it doesn't make sense. So my whole thing is, as much as I believe and agree there needs to be restructuring, these leagues need to look at themselves and figure out how can we make our leagues more competitive and more watchable, because kids aren't watching football as it is. And that includes the Premier League. But when you only got 2 teams battling out, it's just like, oh, well, let's just look at the result and see what happens, because we know the other team's going to win.
No, it's true. I think that's actually what you just said there is probably vital in the conversation that has to be had. The Premier League has done a lot of good things in terms of the way they structured their product. Like the league was always about competition, was always about the unpredictability, and Premier League always stick true to the structure of getting the best players, the best people for the job, the most exciting players. Other teams have a little bit more limitation. Obviously, in Italy, there's a cap about foreign players. In other countries, there's a cap about foreign players as well. And a lot of the owners, the foreign owners that are coming into the Premier League rather than these other countries. And the other foreign owners that came to other countries realized, whoa, there's not that much money in the game. So it didn't end up doing that well. And as you said, a very major thing was the predictability of it. As you said, in Spain, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico came into it, but that's it.
Yeah.
Right. They've got no other competition. Because in Spain, they centered their product, unfortunately, and this is where they went wrong. They centered their product literally around Messi and Ronaldo. Not understanding that, wait, these two are going to get old one day.
Exactly.
Might leave. What's going to happen then? And that's literally what happened in Spain. Like, once the Messi Ronaldo thing dried up, everyone's like, okay, crap. What do we do now? There's no other stars to think about.
Exactly, because they let Neymar left as well. Let's not forget that. And Mbappe hasn't come yet.
Exactly. So that was a huge issue. So they didn't market that. Like, the Premier League would never let that happen. without having a backup to be like, okay, who can we market? In Italy, Italy is actually doing quite well in terms of competition, in terms of the league, in terms
Yeah,
of
yeah,
healthiness.
yeah.
But again, it's something where Italy needs to maybe think, how can we benefit from this? How can
Mm.
we market our product? Because like Juve, everyone knows. Everyone knows about Juve. Like
Hey,
everyone knows
hey, we bust case. We bust case.
no, man. You guys are in trouble. You guys are in trouble. You think it's gonna be a 15 point and that's it? 15
That's
points
it.
start for the
The
rest.
case is
Nah,
closed now,
no.
bro. The case
No,
is
fam, there's
closed, fam.
more. Once you wait for look into it, you're thinking relegation. So
Nah.
Juve.
We bust case. We took our points deduction. That's it. That's it.
So yeah, with that league, for me in Italian football, I would just be like I'll be circling my thing around Inter Milan and AC Milan and try and make that the prime, the two teams going head to head and make it as important as possible. Like that's the Milan derby. That should be what you're centering about. And
Mhm.
you got loads of powerhouses. You still got you still got Roma, Lazio, Juve, Napoli have come up. There's so many teams that they could actually start marketing
Yep.
properly to
Yep.
make Italian football back up there. So that's something they need to work out. Germany's a lost cause because Bayern Munich are monopoly.
Yeah.
I think they're on what? Is it 10th or 11th title in a row?
Yeah, something
Who knows?
stupid like that. Yeah.
That's a lost case. So yeah, Europe probably has to, as you said, take a look at what the Premier League has done and think and see what they can do to boost their product. But as I said, all this needs to be taken. There needs to be a conversation to take place because what I'm saying is that football has to be treated as a family, not as, oh, I'm here, I'm there, I'm there. Yes, the Premier League is going to benefit, but there's going to come a time where it's not enough.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a full saturation, and you're going to need the likes of Serie A. You're going to need the likes of Bundesliga. You're going to need the likes of La Liga to build up the product again.
Mm-hmm.
So it's better they start these conversations now rather than later.
No, fair point. And I don't think the Super League is the way to go about it, but it could be a conversation starter. And we've seen that. I think the Premier League already said in their charter that nobody can't go into the Super League anyway. Super League saying they don't need the Premier League. Behave. Behave. You do behave. It's a non-starter without the Premier League teams. Because the fact of the matter is, you've made this Super League because of what the Premier League is doing, and then you're going to turn around and say, "Well, we don't need you."
It's impossible.
It doesn't make sense. But look, we'll see what happens with that. Obviously, it's not going to go away. I think the next thing is they've got some court case with UEFA and FIFA over something. I can't remember what I read because it's just all complex for no reason. When they simplify it, then we'll be able to get more into it. But yeah, that's Super League. Put that to the side. But yes, people, listen. Let's get to the Prem. Let's focus on the coronation, the champions elect, Arsenal Football Club. Currently 5 points clear at the top of the Premier League with a game in hand. Next up is Brentford at home. And then it is the big one on the 15th of February, again at home to Manchester City. ST and I both said it yesterday. We expect Arsenal to beat Brentford. We expect City to beat Villa at home. And then we expect Arsenal to beat Manchester City. And then that's it. Arsenal can focus on a league and the first European Cup double. But truth, listen, obviously wasn't the greatest result against Everton. Put that down to new manager bounce. Obviously, Brexit FC reared its ugly head, and I think Arsenal just a bad day at the office. Just a bad day at the office. What can you do? It can happen. It happens. But as we now refocus, because Brentford at home is not going to be easy. Brentford don't give anyone an easy ride. Obviously, they won away at City. They won away at some a lot of the big clubs. They've given problems. But when you look at it, we're getting to the crunch time. As I said, these two games are vital in Arsenal's season. What are we looking at? Are you saying the league is wrapped up after the City win, or are you a little bit more optimistic and you're waiting to the end of February?
First of all, let me just get on because I need to rant about this. Because, I
Are you
I've
going
been
back to the
very, what's
transfer
the word?
window?
Yeah, you know what I'm going to do. You know what I'm going to do. Because I've witnessed so many of these transfer windows in my lifetime where we are on, when you're on the verge of something great, you have to put all your eggs in that basket and go for it. You know what they say? They say aim for the sky, aim for the moon. You'll at least catch the top of the tree. Aim for the top of the tree, you won't go anywhere. Like the signing of Trossard and Jorginho and the Polish youngster
I have no idea who that is.
defender. Exactly. If we were going for top four, I would be ecstatic because I think that'd be enough to get us over the line, get us through a few games. When you are in a title challenge and there's little margin for error against a juggernaut like Man City, that's a load of crap. And it's not the first time. We do it in fact, there's not one January I could be like, yeah, we're going all out and gone for it. Last year, when we were supposed to go get Bruno Guimaraes to get fourth place, we didn't sign anybody. Waste our time chasing a guy that never was going to come to us. 2016, when Leicester won the league, with a few injuries, we were around top at January. Instead of bolstering the squad, we signed nobody. 2014, sorry, I think 2016 when we might have signed El Neni, I think. 2004, there's many other ones as well. I remember when we signed, was that guy's name? Suarez. He played for Villarreal or someone. Dennis Suarez.
Dennis Suarez. Did he even play for you?
Yeah. Can't remember. Another nothing, another nobody. 2014, same thing. 2008, the season we were going for the league.
Yeah, 7-8, yeah.
Yeah, 2000, time we going for the league again. Signed nobody. 2005, but we think Chelsea, we just signed Robin Van Persie that season for fun, and that was it as a youngster. That was it. We keep on doing the same rubbish in January, and look, there's no coincidence that we've lost both our games, and we've lost 2 games in a row.
Oh yeah, I know.
Just remember that.
But FA Cup doesn't really count.
It does count because momentum is everything. Momentum is everything.
Yeah, but you're not going for the title. You don't need to waste time in the FA Cup.
No, momentum at this point, and this is the problem. This is what I'll tell you. This seems to realize with never got with under Pep. Pep's very good about using momentum to win bigger trophies, getting that winning mentality in the squad. But my thing is January. You're going for the league title. You cannot be happy with signing Trossard and especially Jorginho. Because Jorginho does nothing in our team. There's no coincidence. As soon as he came on the pitch, we conceded a goal. There's no coincidence. No, I'm sorry. There's no coincidence. You lose your general in midfield. But we lost our general in midfield. You lost your general in terms of position, in terms of everything, in terms of belief. They're like, okay, Jorginho on the pitch. Bam. Let's go attack the ball a little bit harder. There's no Partey. There's no mistake. You cannot be bringing on Jorginho for Partey and think everything's going to be okay. That is a joke. Like, I'm sorry, you go all out and you sign whatever target you can get. For me, as I kept on screaming, go sign Onana. Go sign Onana. I don't care if he isn't what you want. Just go sign him. It weakens someone that you got to play twice. He's got the same frame as Partey. He's got an engine. He's someone that we need in the team in terms of if Partey is not available. Jorginho is not that player. Go and do something. Except, nope. We go sign Jorginho. And that game against Everton, it was coming. It was a performance that was going to come in because I know everyone knows how Sean Dyche is going to play. Energy, blood, sweat, tears, Brexit. Everyone knows. Like, we needed to do something different in that game, and the players have not been in this position mentally. Like, if I was Arsenal, I would have gone and paid 200 million in the January transfer window. But if
You ain't
nothing
got that money
important,
to spend.
fam. If Chelsea got that money to spend, we got that money to spend. If Chelsea could pay 100 mil over 5 years, why can't we pay 30 million over 10 years? Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. If Chelsea are allowed to go have loopholes, why are we not doing loopholes? Like, I'm sorry, you're going for the title. These opportunities do not come along every so often in our position. Like, imagine Liverpool never went after the likes of, I know they went in summer, but imagine Liverpool never went and got the likes of Van Dijk to get them over the line, likes of
True.
Allison to get them over the line. Like, you have to do these things to get you over the line. Next season isn't a guarantee. You're in the position now. Like, go and do it. The only caveat, the only thing that saved our season for another week was that Tottenham did us a favor. That's the only thing
Which we
that
knew.
made
Well, I knew.
that you knew.
I knew.
That you knew. I wasn't relying on Tottenham. You can't pin my hopes up. You can't pin my hopes of winning the title on Tottenham. Are you crazy?
I wouldn't
But
say that, but I think the City away at Tottenham is, bro, it's nearly a foregone conclusion.
I don't know
Like,
why,
literally.
but it's just one of those things. But yeah, so that pissed me off. And then the game pissed me off. And I thought that was our season over, to be honest. I was going to be happy to just fight for top four. And because mentally, you got Man City changing. I know people find it hard to understand, but the players will be in that changing room afterwards, and they will feel the pressure of Man City on their back. Zinchenko, Gabriel, Arteta would know the pressure of Man City chasing you down. But obviously, with Tottenham getting that win and Man City not showing their true Man City self, it still gives us that hope that Man City are maybe a different side than they were when they were chasing the likes of Liverpool or going to the title with the likes of Liverpool. That's the only thing. But with everything that's been going on this week, regardless of a result against of what happened against Brentford, my eyes are all on the Aston Villa Man City game. Because I need to see how City respond to this week and how they respond to last week. That will tell me a lot about where we are looking in the title race. Even no matter what the result is against Brentford, my game is the Aston Villa versus Man City. Even if Man City just scrape a 1-0, I would know for sure that this is not the same Man City side. Because Pep is trying to play that siege mentality game. He's taking a page out of our Mourinho's handbook, and he said he's going to play the siege mentality game to get a response out of these players because he's getting desperate now. And he's thinking, this isn't my team. This doesn't look anything like my team. So that is a game I'm going to keep an eye on. If that is not the same Man City, then I'll be confident of at least getting second place behind Man United for going for the title.
Look, like, people, you would think Arsenal are in sixth place right now, the way how the truth is going on. People, look, it wasn't the transfer window that Arsenal fans wanted, but it's still a decent, needed, but it's a decent one. Trossard, talented footballer, right? At Brighton, does bits, performs against the big teams. Jorginho, experienced, European Championship winner, Champions League winner, controller in the midfield, old and wise head in there, another person in the dressing room that knows how to win things, along with the likes of Partey winning with Atletico Madrid, along with Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus winning multiple Premier League titles, right? So I don't think it's as bad as what Arsenal fans are making it out to be. But yes, there are other players out there that they could have brought in. Regardless of that, right? It's 5 points, game in hand. City are awful right now.
Our game in hand is against Man City, so it's not really a game in hand.
Well, technically, when you play City, you're still going to have a game in hand because they would have played one more game than you.
But I'm saying that game in hand is against City, so if they win that,
you'll still be 8 points clear. There's still going to be 8 points. Come Wednesday evening or Tuesday or Wednesday, whichever one it is. But Wednesday evening, you lot will be 8 points clear of Man City with a game in hand. Premier League's done. Title race is over. City are not performing nowhere near. Pep's lost the plot. Man's falling out with Cancelo, sent him on loan to Bayern Munich. No one knows why. Man's got, even I know he's been injured during the season, but you got Ruben Diaz and Laporte. How dare you go Spurs away and go and play Akanji and Ake at centre back? That's criminal in itself. You
in fairness, he was playing. So he tried a thing where he was playing three at the back, and Rico Lewis in midfield and doing some kind of madness. But yeah,
but we're seeing now with everybody. Arteta does it with Zinchenko. Ten Heisenberg's been trying to do it with Luke Shaw. Like they see, everyone seems to be trying to do this three at the back with the left back going into midfield and all this crazy stuff. Another thing that Pep's just done because he's been bored and everyone else is trying to copy it. Right, and then obviously he sold his pace, right, which I said I warned everybody at the beginning of the season. Selling his pace would have been an issue for him, right? So now he's left with two inverted wingers. Everyone's trying to play the same way, and then he's got Haaland, who is not a Pep player. And I said it, people, with CPR7 last season, when I said, when you have someone like this that scores all the goals, but then contributes nothing else, these are scenarios that take place. Where, Haaland's got 25 goals this season, phenomenal, but when he doesn't do anything, he's literally non-existent. And
don't you think Pep's overthinking this? Where I think he's let the talk get to his head where if Haaland doesn't do anything, doesn't score, he doesn't do anything, because now he's trying Haaland, dropping deeper, and now people are saying, oh, Haaland needs to think. I think against Tottenham, he didn't have one touch in the box. And everyone's like, now, oh, Haaland needs to score, or Haaland needs to be in the box. But now you got Pep trying to incorporate him more, but it's not working. So is he just overthinking it and just say, Haaland, just go and score your goals, let the team play towards your focal point?
But this is the problem. I don't even think Pep's telling him to drop deep. I think Haaland's doing it because he can't get the damn ball. Because when you watch the games, when you watch the games, do you know how many runs Haaland makes off the ball and the ball never goes there? And the reason for that is, and I don't blame Haaland for making the runs in behind and his movement on the shoulder of the last defender. I don't blame Haaland. I don't blame De Bruyne. I don't blame Gundogan. I don't blame Jack Grealish. I don't blame Mahrez. I don't blame Rodri. I don't blame Kyle Walker. I blame Pep, right? Because Pep doesn't want to play that football, right? He wants to keep recycling the ball. I told everyone from day, this guy is the most stubborn. Don't get me wrong, he's absolutely phenomenal and he's a genius when it comes to football. But these are the stubborn things, that pisses people off. He did the same thing at Bayern Munich, where he told the Bayern Munich players, no one is allowed to shoot from outside of the box because it's a waste of possession, right? It's these things, these irritating things that Pep does. And unfortunately for Haaland, he's gone there and he's thrived in the early part, but now it's like no one is giving me the ball. But that is because of the way how Pep wants to play. So unfortunately, Haaland isn't a Pep player. Jack Grealish isn't a Pep player, but they're having to make the best of a bad situation. And now we're just seeing everything implode because Pep seems like he's losing his marbles. Man City are in the mud, and all roads lead down to the fact that Pep's protege, Arteta, has won the league for Arsenal. It's as simple as that.
No one's going to bait me. There's still 18 plus games to go. This season is far from done. There's still so much football to be played. But this weekend is pivotal. It is pivotal. It's going to tell me a lot about where the two teams are. If we don't bounce back against Brentford, we do have a second chance.
I think the Brentford game is more difficult than the Man City game.
I don't believe it's difficult, but I believe if we bounce back against Brentford, we're beating Man City easy. If we beat Brentford, we're going to beat Man City easy.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a cakewalk.
But it's got context. If Man City go and pipe Aston Villa and they've got that siege mentality, we're not beating them. Because siege mentality is a powerful thing. It's a powerful mentality that when you believe everyone's against you, they're not going to go to the Emirates and have any fear once you've got siege mentality. But if they stutter and they falter against Villa, then even if they win, they're going to be going to the Emirates with fear. But if they go and roll over and be like, look, we're Man City, we're going to do this, F what everyone thinks about us, then I will truly fear them. That's what I'm saying. If we lose against Brentford, it doesn't matter. Even if we lose against Brentford, it don't matter. We've got the second chance against City to actually go and do something. And if we were to lose against Brentford, go to beat Man City, yeah, I'll be a little bit more confident. And then I'll wait until May to actually see how the table is. But this weekend is pivotal. That's the only thing I'm saying. I'm not giving no prediction, but this weekend is pivotal to what's going to happen.
I'm giving a prediction, and Arsenal wipe the floor with Man City. People seem to forget last season, yeah, when Man City were bouncing and they were playing well, and Arsenal gave them a torrid time at the Emirates to the point where Arsenal should have won the game, but unfortunately Martinelli missed 2 sitters, if I remember correctly, and then someone got sent off, and then Rodri scored in the last minute of added time or something like that. And that was with Man City playing well. This Man City side cannot handle this Arsenal team. As long as Partey is fit, it's a cakewalk. There's going to be no issues for Arsenal whatsoever. There's nothing to fear at all from this Manchester City side.
I don't trust me. I don't fear.
The only thing I could see happening, I do want to see how Gabriel and Saliba deal with Haaland. I think that's a one matchup I do want to see, not because I think it's going to be difficult for them, but just to see how they deal with an elite striker under the pressure of if we win this, we win the league sort of mentality. But apart from that, there's nothing else. Zinchenko will get up against his old club. Let's see what he does against Mahrez. I think where there could be a problem, I think Jack Grealish against a Seaside Senderos is a nightmare for him. I think Tomiyasu has to start there. Because I
do like Tomiyasu more defensively. I think Ben White's been shown a bit lazy recently, especially against Rashford. It did worry me. But Grealish don't have that pace of Rashford.
I think, but remember, Jack Grealish is the most foul player in the league. That's what I'm talking about.
I know he's tricky. He's tricky. I know he's tricky, but Rashford scares you with his pace because you know that he could go and beyond. Even if Grealish does you'll be happy for him to run on behind because he doesn't have that pace. And he plays in front of you. So yeah, I know Arteta is going to know this as well. So what we actually did against City in the FA Cup, which was very interesting, and it's something that who do they play?
What?
Who do they play? When they play against Tottenham, instead of when Tottenham play Man City.
Oh yeah.
So we done it in the FA Cup, and then when Tottenham play Man City, they copied this as well, and that is we went man to man. And that caught Pep off guard badly because he was not expecting that. So because what going man to man does, and that's what teams are slowly starting to do, starting to cut off the supply to Haaland. And this is why he starts to drop a bit deeper.
He did that. We did that to them at Old Trafford.
You did that to them as well. That the whole the man to man thing is very interesting ploy to use. Pep being the super coach that he is will know how to counteract that if we decide to go man to man again. I don't think we need to. I think that at the Emirates, we go play a game and we go put the pressure and we go put it on them like last time with our full team. But that being said, as I said, there's so many contexts to this game. I'll have to wait until after these weekend fixtures are done to know the way we're going to approach that game.
No, 100%. Look, I can understand the cautious nature of this because at the end of the day, it's crunch time. It's getting to crunch time. It's for a title. Obviously, Arsenal fans have been waiting 19 years for this. But I'm just looking at it, and this ain't the City that was competing against Liverpool over the past 5 years. This is not Pep City, and for whatever reason, he's just gonna have to try and deal with it. And as Cooking with Rashford say, this is probably the first time that Pep's having to have coach his way. And anytime things have gone left like this, he's left. Barcelona, he left. Bayern Munich, he left. City, well, I mean, he said he'll walk. He said he'll walk. So, listen, we're going to find out what happens. Me personally, title race is done after next week, Wednesday. That's it. Arsenal can focus on Europa League. And it is what it is. We're going to move on. We're not talking about United. ST I did that yesterday. But we did it. What we didn't have time for is to talk about the demise of Liverpool, right? This is a Liverpool
I'm going to
side.
back my team, Liverpool. I'm going to back my team.
Yeah, you need to back your guy. That's who you need to back. You need to back your Listen, I can't wait for that apology. I can't wait for that apology. But look, Liverpool, 10th in the Prem. They haven't won a game in the Prem since in 2023. That's crazy. Mad. They've only won one game. That was the FA Cup replay against Wolves away. They've lost 4. They've drawn 2. What was it? I think all their losses in the Prem have been 3 goals. So they lost 3-1 to Brentford. I think it was 3-0 to Brighton and then 3-0 to Wolves. And obviously drew with Chelsea at home.
Wade's Fairs is a top scorer since he came back from the World Cup.
Who?
Wade's Fairs, the thing player, the Leicester defender. He's a top scorer.
2 own goals.
That's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, that's crazy. And in truth, they're 11 points off top 4 right now. And I know they've got a game in hand on Newcastle.
Yeah.
But what's happened? What has happened? We know, and we've said this. If our clubs had the amount of injuries to key players that Liverpool had, we would probably be in the same predicament, if not worse, than what's going on right now.
Yeah.
But the performances as well, like what is going on? Has Klopp lost the dressing room? Has Klopp burned out? Is it time to go? Or is it just a case of this Liverpool side is not good enough to compete for top 4?
Okay, so the main thing that people need to understand, I did predict Liverpool to actually win the title at the start of the season. I didn't think they have this drop off. But the one thing that I've seen is that this Liverpool side is a machine. It's basically a machine. All the cogs have to be perfect for this team to be working perfectly. And it's not. It really isn't. Any bit of drop off and this Liverpool team drops off badly. And there's been loads of little things that have made this huge thing happen where Liverpool are looking awful. Obviously, first of all, you like this. Sadio Mane leaving. They miss the little things that he brings in terms of his press, his decision making, his big goals. They do miss that.
Carrying the team on his back in the second half of the season.
Not so much that, but they miss his chemistry. This Liverpool team is based on chemistry. Like they need chemistry to be functioning. They have not been able to cover Trent's weaknesses no more. In the past, people have targeted that area, but it's not been as successful because the likes of Fabinho, the likes of Jordan Henderson, Wijnaldum when he was there used to cover.
Wijnaldum, big miss as well.
Yeah, cover a lot for Trent's weaknesses. They can't do that no more because they don't have those players that this win with that cohesion. Got too many players getting on. Van Dijk's been targeted a bit more because the injury he hasn't been the same.
Yep.
And what he was relying on was his reputation. Was relying on was his brain. But then when people actually go and target you, you start to be in trouble. Then you have the acquisitions. I think this has been a very, very bad part. So them getting Darwin Núñez is not a Liverpool signing. Let's be real. Let's be real about Darwin. He's not a Liverpool signing. I had high hopes for him.
Well, he was, to be fair. I thought he was a Klopp type player.
No. The reason why he isn't is because he lacks technique. All Liverpool players have to have one thing: good engine and have at least technique.
Mm.
You know, the likes of Salah, Mane, Firmino, Jota,
Fair,
all
fair,
across that
fair,
front line,
fair.
having that technique. And what he lacks is that technique. And that is what's making him get in trouble because his brain, his football IQ is just not there. I thought he would get away with it because I thought he would at least finish. At least. Like I knew his technical ability, he had a few issues with it, but I knew that he was quick enough and he was powerful. But I thought he would at least finish his chances, and that finishing has not been there, unfortunately. And this is the big problem because that just adds to the lack of cohesion. Cody Gakpo, I know you guys talked about this guy, and I told you about this guy. I told you about this guy. I was not impressed about him scoring 3 goals in the group stages of the World Cup. For the World Cup is not the highest level of football no more. The group stages doesn't matter to me. If you score in the knockout rounds, that shows me you've got the mentality to play. Scoring group stages don't mean ish. And when I actually saw him play, I was like, this guy doesn't do anything special. He's not skillful. He's not that quick. He's not that tenacious. Football IQ is not that great. Dutch football has gone down in quality, like massively, since the likes of Luis Suarez, since the likes of Robin van Persie, since the likes of Aaron Robin and all these guys. It has gone down in quality, like massively. When you think about the acquisition that's come from there, Anthony, Gakpo, can't remember who else came from there. Memphis Depay, trying to think who else. There's one person.
It's Suarez, Van Persie.
I'm saying after that era, that's come there recently.
After that era, yeah, nah. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah,
that's come there recently. Like, the 3 stars, De Jong, Van der Beek, De Ligt. Like, this Dutch football isn't that no more. It's really, really gone down in quality. So signing Gakpo, I wasn't a fan of. And again, that was not a Liverpool signing because he's not tenacious. Football IQ isn't amazing. Technical ability, not amazing.
I don't know why that signing was a shock to everybody. It was left field because no one anticipated that happening, apart from one person. She called it in our group. Like, don't ask me who she knew or what voodoo or what.
I want to know still. I need to actually holler at her.
Yeah, because I don't know how that got predicted, and all of a sudden Gakpo was at Liverpool, and it's just like, but I didn't understand the signing. That's what caught me, because I'm just like, but why? Why? I know they had injuries, but you know when something just didn't make sense. Yeah, it was one of them. Like, don't be wrong, we're fine now without it. Like, you lot can keep him. I hope he comes good, because I think he can. But as of this moment in time, let his demise happen. I'm happy with that. But it's crazy. Look, Liverpool are one of our rivals, and like I love to see the demise, but I've always been a fan of Klopp. I make it no secret that when Fergie retired, he's the one that I wanted to take over at Manchester United. That barren spell that we went through, obviously I'm happy with Ten Heisenberg now. But does he need to take some accountability? Does he need to take some of the blame? Because this, again, and he's very similar to Pep in terms of the fact that he's got one way of playing. There's no other way of playing. There's no kind of adapting to the players that you have. Does he need to take some accountability? Does he need to should we be talking about P45 for Jurgen Klopp right now?
Look, I think he has to take accountability. He has to. And I think he should be allowed to take that accountability. What I don't like is people, more so Liverpool fans, calling for his head.
Yeah, how dare you? Like, man, brought your first Premier League title, and he brought you a Champions League as well. Like,
exactly. If it wasn't for the juggernaut that's Man City.
But truth, then people are saying, so in his tenure, he's only won 2 major trophies. I know he's won FA Cup and League Cup, but basically people are saying
is important.
Yeah, of course. Hey, I'm not saying that. That's what I'm hearing. Like, I'm hearing Liverpool fans say that.
Yeah, these fans have lost what the whole point of football is, and I don't think they should lose that. Like that's down for the Chelsea fans. That's down to the crazy Man United fans that thinks hiring and sucking is the way to go.
Hey, hey,
Like
hey, 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 hey,
I'm
hey.
talking about the
We.
crazy United fans, not the because trust me, United fans are just as bad as
I,
Chelsea when they think
I
that's the
I
way
saw
to
someone
go.
put on social media the other day. Ten Hag out, bro.
Like this is what people think. I'm like, Klopp should be given the opportunity to rebuild. And I think this is the problem with football right now. Yes, Liverpool are having a bad spell. And I think that pressure should be taken off Liverpool because they're clearly not where they want to be right now. Take a season off, go for the cup competitions, go for whatever you can, see where you finish, and next year rebuild. As we said, we need to stop thinking of this top four business no more. It doesn't mean it doesn't mean anything no more. There's 17 vying for four places. There's 17 vying for four places, and you're just putting pressure on your team to get into that top four. And if it doesn't go well, it's sack the manager, do this, sign that, sign that. That it doesn't help. Like you guys have to support the team um viciously and then see where you are in like at least 2 years, like especially if they're going for a period right now, they should be allowed to dip. Like they should be allowed to dip. I understand if you're someone like Tottenham and you haven't won something for God knows how long,
Mm.
one league thing in 30 years. But it's something like Liverpool coming off the back of a successful period, regardless if it doesn't have years of the amount of trophies you wanted, you still want everything there was to win. There wasn't one trophy apart from the Europa League where they didn't win in that period.
Mm-hmm.
They won everything. Have a season off, see where you are next season. And as we talk, like the talk about it is ridiculous. Like everyone needs to start thinking like that. Every single club, even Man City, like because before Man City you'd be guaranteed, but even Man City, you have to start thinking if we don't get top four, we need to be thinking about improving ourselves for the season after because it's gonna happen now. There's 7 teams. Newcastle are gonna be stronger next year, and who knows? Another team might come up. Brighton, whose owners got loads of money, by the way, can suddenly become a powerhouse. Like it's going to happen. Like we need to be real. We need to be real about it. So yeah, for me, I reserve judgment. There's enough game time for Darwin Núñez to still hit 20 goals. So I'll still hold I'll still hold out till then. So
The
nah, like
Uruguayan
Liverpool are
and
going for a
there.
short. They're going for a short a period where they're gonna have to think about loads of things and think about where they want to go from here on in. But Klopp should be at the wheel for that.
No, 100%. Like I can't see how you can turn around and say, as a Liverpool fan, I want Klopp's time's up. He needs to go. Like behave yourselves. Like you lot
Yeah.
were nowhere when he came, right? You like playing man like Lovren and them man there, and Klopp's turn.
They showed the Liverpool team when he first came in. Some of those players, you're thinking, ew. You're
Yeah,
thinking,
exactly.
you. Like some Aquilani and all these freaking.
Aquilani. I remember when we were linked with him. I was like, over my dead
Oh,
body,
yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Oh my days! I think it was what was it? I think it was after when Italy won the World Cup or something, bro, and they were
Yeah.
trying to link this guy to us. I was like, get out of here, bro. Get out of here with that nonsense. But now he should be. He deserves time. He should.
Yeah.
The only way Klopp leaves Liverpool is if he walks. He's earned the right to be like, you know what? I'll walk. Yeah, like we've been going hard for how many seasons? They did have a season off. I think was it during Corona? Was that the time when
No,
everything
just
dropped
after,
off?
but that was injuries though. That wasn't
Yeah,
really a drop
yeah.
off. That was
And,
injury.
and to be fair, it's been injuries again this
Yeah.
season. But listen, Klopp deserves time. He deserves to try
Yeah.
and build the squad again. Obviously,
Yeah.
Bellingham has said that he wants to go there. You bring Jude Bellingham into that team, it does
It's
transform it a
different.
little bit. You
Yeah.
get all the players that are injured back on side. When you get all the injured players back on side, that's Gakpo, that's Nunez, that's Salah, that's Firmino, that's Jota, that's Diaz as your front six. Yeah. And then behind that, you're going to have Bellingham. They might go in for another centre midfielder as well. Fabinho,
Yeah.
Van Dijk comes back. As much as he hasn't been, as much as he hasn't had the best season before he got injured, he's still better than most. at
Yeah,
centre back.
there's still a powerful squad
Yeah,
there. Like,
yeah, of course, and he deserves time. Give Klopp a
yeah,
chance to rebuild. Don't get me wrong, I'm loving the demise right now of Liverpool.
exactly.
I hope they get absolutely nothing. I want Chelsea to finish in the Conference League so they can play Conference League on Thursdays. But Liverpool can finish outside of it and just try and rebuild. But as I said, Klopp deserves time. Liverpool are getting exactly what they deserve in terms of their board and their fans. Because I told you not to disrespect Mane, not to celebrate the pyramid pennant like that. And now look what's happened. Now look at what's happened. And don't forget the pyramid pennant, you know. Don't forget.
Nah, leave him alone.
This
Leave him alone.
this guy was supposed to be carrying Liverpool on his back. He's out here missing everything. He's out here missing everything. Him and he's caught what the Uruguayan Ande has. He's caught
I'm not having no Salah. I'm not having no Salah slander. This guy's been going hard for 6 seasons. No, give him a time. Give him a year off, like all other players have been allowed to afford. Nah, he needs a break. He needs a break. His shoulders are heavy.
Sadio Mane in, bruv. That's what I'm saying. Sadio Mane in. Bring back Sadio Mane. That's what I'm saying, bro. But truth, before we wrap up, Champions League. I said it to ST yesterday. I was like, Napoli are going to win it because I don't know. He said that he could see Real Madrid potentially winning it. I was like, hell no. I said that Pep is Champions League or bust because the Premier League's over. And as I said, not winning the Champions League with Haaland is P45 settings, McDonald's toilets. So for you, who do you see winning the Champions League? Because I can't pick anybody. The form team is Napoli, but obviously you got all the other teams in there.
The form team is Napoli, but I just don't think they're ready to win the Champions League.
I think it's Serie A for them, and that's it.
Yeah, Napoli are the form team. They're playing the best football in Europe right now. They've got the best team in Europe right now. But I just don't feel they're ready.
I love how you said that when you don't even like Osimhen, bro.
Yeah, I don't really like Osimhen that highly, but he is playing without Skelly next to him, and Lozano and all those guys next to him, creating chances for him. And that football suits him. That kind of football suits him. If those 3 were fit, I would say PSG if they were fit. But Messi might not make the first leg, and Mbappe is definitely not going to.
Yeah, he's definitely out. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not keen on PSG no more. Munich just don't play well.
They got no striker. Choupo-Moting, bro. He's been banging goals though. To be fair, he's banging goals.
Don't say that name. I don't want to hear that name. I'm sorry. That name. I just get angry. These guys are blatantly, they got him from flipping Sunday League and said, I like your size, come and play football.
Remember, he was at Stoke.
Exactly. Man City not playing good. Real Madrid. AC, I got. Can Tottenham? No, I was thinking, can Tottenham go far? Can they do a madness? But there's too many things.
Conte. They got Conte.
Exactly, no. Conte and they're Tottenham. So I don't know. I don't know what hope they have. Famous last words, but who do you got? I don't know what to go for.
Chelsea. But
for me, Chelsea right now might do a madness. They could do a madness.
Nah.
Like stranger things have happened.
Nah. And I'll make sure it doesn't happen. Trust me. I got the witch doctor on alert, bro. I want them to suffer.
Stranger things have happened, man.
I want them to suffer. Like if I could put them in City situation right now, I would.
Damn, there's really no clubs like.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. That's why I just said Napoli.
Yeah, but Napoli aren't ready.
Dortmund?
They got Chelsea. I'm not seeing them beating.
Neither do I.
They got Haller back.
Inter?
which they needed. Nah. Inter? Nah, you're not really. They got Lautaro Martinez. You know he's banging recently.
They got Lukaku.
When push comes to shove. Fam, I don't know who you pick. Real Madrid. Yeah, you know what? I can see why SC picked Real Madrid. That's a safe option. That's a safe option, man. I know they're not banging, but man for man, they're still the team to beat. Yeah. I'm going Madrid as well.
Fair. Listen, fair point. Look, listen, people, this is the conundrum of the Champions League right now. There's no team that's absolutely dominating. There's no team that you would say, oh yeah, I fancy them 100%. I think over the past 3 seasons, I've said Man City every single time, and it hasn't happened.
Are you saying Man City this year?
I said Pep needs to do something. That's what I said.
No, but are you saying Man City?
Nah, I can't see it happening. But for me, I'll go buy-in, but Pep needs to do something, or else it's P45. I said it. He does. I can't see how Pep does all this fuckeries in the Premier League and isn't just going for that straight beeline in for the Champions League for everyone to get off his back about saying you can only win it with Messi.
Yeah, but you don't turn it on like that, man.
Yeah, I know, but at the same time, I'm just like, you haven't got your team, and your team isn't playing well. But maybe in cup competition, maybe they could do something. I don't know, but who knows? It's crazy. But listen,
it's a hard one this year.
It's the return of the Champions League. We're going to see what happens. We're going to see how these teams play out, and we're going to see who looks like the form team after the round of 16. People, listen, we're going to wrap up there. Let us know what you think in the comment section. Let us know what you think about the European Super League. Are you for it? Are you against it? Let us know what you think about the restructuring of football. Obviously, the truth is on a mission with his guy Voya to try and change things at the top. Let us know what you think about Arsenal. Obviously, champions elect. Title race done after the 15th, as long as Arsenal win their next 2 games. Do you think City have a chance of finishing second? They might not even finish second. Newcastle could overtake them and finish second.
Nah, fam. Don't discount your team, fam. Sancho's back. Look at the picture you got there. You know.
Listen, my boy Sanch, man. My boy Sanch. I'm so glad that he's back, man. I'm sick of watching Garnacho, bro. I really am, bro. That you is frustrating as hell. Yeah, Newcastle could overtake them. You never know. Listen, look, you got Newcastle, then you got Brighton after that. Like any of these clubs could come over and take over second place from Manchester City. You just don't know. Let us know what you think about Liverpool and their demise. Are you happy about it? Are you not happy about it? What do you think of Klopp? Does he need to go? Is it Klopp's time to say, you know what, it's time for me to walk away, or does he need to be sacked? And let us know what you think about the Champions League winners. Even the truth couldn't come up with a winner, people. I asked ST last night. They've asked the truth tonight. Like the Champions League is just open right now. And as usual, before we go, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button. As I say all the time, share. We are here. And don't forget to join our social media pages as well. Links are in the description. I want to say thank you very much to my guy, The Truth, as usual. Thank you very much, sir.
Nah, pleasure, man.
People, I don't know when we're going to be back. Oh fuck.
This thing on the weekend.
I'm going to try and come back with 2 for a review of UFC. On Monday, but this is my only free weekend, so I'm gonna try and come back with 2 just to give you lot, because obviously I've given you 40 talk and we've doubled those. We need to get fight talk back. People, I'm gonna try and press Mr. KA. We need to get NBA talk back before the season's over. I know I'm gonna have to try and find someone to help him out so that we can steal him for an hour or something, because we need to get NBA talk back, especially after the crazy trade deadline. We should be talking about that right now. But listen, as I said, people, it always happens. Life takes over. What can we do? Unfortunately, this isn't our earning a living type thing. This is just for fun at this moment in time. But we're going to try our best to put more content out there for you, 100%, because this sporadic thing is just getting annoying. But listen, people, stay safe out there. Be safe, and we shall see you very, very soon. Peace.